Okay, guys, so we just had the first Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and I promise you this was the craziest Direct I've ever seen. I planned a I planned a reaction for this, but of course I got halfway through the video and realized I didn't record anything, so that was kind of embarrassing. But I just wanted to give you a brief overview of my thoughts on the trailers, what they actually announced, and if you saw them, let me know in the comments below what did you think and what are you most excited about. So they started off with a new trailer for Mario Kart Worlds, and they gave that a name, and they gave us the release date, which is the same day as the Switch 2, which is June 5th, June 4th, which is fantastic. I'm happy that it's not that far away. We don't have to wait till Christmas or something. It's a good summer time frame, and that's great. But as for the game itself, it's insane. Like, I think they made a perfect blend of what people were looking for. Like, they gave us 24 racers to start, which looks fantastic. A brand new art style. It doesn't look anything like 8 Deluxe. They went for a much more cartoony art style, which I love. They kept the Grand Prix style, and I think I saw there were 7 cups that they showed, and I think I saw Airship Fortress in there, but I could be wrong. Maybe a completely different track, but that's what I thought I saw. So I think we still have retro tracks, but we'll have to see. Um, and then the big shocker was like there's an open world to explore in this one, and thankfully, and it's like a mixture of Forza Horizon, the open world games that Xbox makes, and Mario Kart, because you can race your friends wherever you want in the open world setting, and all the tracks are within that open world, but they still let you play in Grand Prix in normal tracks. That is a perfect way to do that, and they'll explain more as time comes. April 17th, which just like 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a full direct about nothing but that game. So tune in for that. I'll be doing my reaction and breakdown of that trailer and show that they talk about. Um, so overall, just a fantastic trailer for Mario Kart Worlds. I'm super happy for it. Can't wait for it to come out. After that, they went into general stuff about the Switch itself. They gave a announcement date of June 3rd, 4th. I just watched it, so it's still kind of foggy. There was a lot of information. But June 4th, we'll just stick with that. And I think that's a good release date. Not too long, not too close. Enough time to build up some hype, you know. Then they announced that they're going to give Switch 2 versions to Switch 1 games, and so they'll be cross-release, meaning they'll be on both. Like Metroid Prime 4, we assumed that was happening. And other games like the Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild are getting remake versions on this, and also something like Super Mario Party Jamboree. All of those are getting upgrades, and I think the way that they did it was very good, because I was thinking going into this, I'm like, oh great, well now I have to buy, now if I want the new content, I have to buy a full new version. Like, so now I'm gonna have 2 copies. But no, actually, they did a great thing where if you don't already have the game, just buy the Switch 2 version. But if you do have it, you can pay for the upgrade, which is basically just paying for DLC. Like, the amount for each of them is going to be something different, I'm sure. With something like the Jamboree changes, Mario Party Jamboree, their changes is a little bit more major. They've got like new modes, new mini games, stuff like that. No new boards. I was hoping for new boards, but things like that, I expect to be probably about $30-$40. But things like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, for those Zelda games, I'm expecting more like $15-$20 difference, just because like all that they're upgrading, aside from the mobile app stuff on their Nintendo app that's kind of changing for it, all of that is simply just going to be like performance upgrades, and that's really good. other things that got announced was a really weird tech demo type game that was it was like, so they announced a new mouse control that you can use for the Switch Joy-Cons, and the most obvious way that they used it was like, the left one is your control stick and the right one aims and shoots in Metroid Prime 4, and you can do that in other things like Fortnite or whatever that may be. The other thing that they used it for was a brand new game called... It was a brand new game that was basically a mixture between wheelchair basketball and I'm not making this up, wheelchair basketball and skateboarding. So what they did, from the trailers that I could see, they put everybody in these like souped up wheelchair machines. Everybody's got helmets on and like look kind of cool looking. But they put you inside one of those like bowl type things that you'd see at a skateboarding park, and you can jump off the walls and stuff. The reason that they use the mouse controls is to do that. I don't know why this is something that exists. I'm sure it's going to be a very fun game. My only issue with it is simply that the way they were showing it, you needed both controllers to do that, and you'd shoot with the right and things like that. That's going to be really expensive to play with multiple people, because obviously the Pro controllers won't work. You'll just have to simply have brand new Switch 2 controllers to be able to use that for it, because the Switch 1 controllers don't have that mouse functionality. So it's like, I think it's a cool concept, but I just think that it's something that is going to struggle because of the price point. Moving on from that, they announced a bunch of other third-party games that'll be coming to the system, like Street Fighter 6, new Madden, 2K, all those games that just didn't or couldn't run well on the original Switch are now being ported to the Switch 2 with comparable graphics. I still don't think it's going to be nearly as good as Series X and PlayStation 5, but I think it'll be much more of a comparable experience compared to the Mortal Kombat 1 and 11 versions on the original Switch. 11 was decent because that was an Xbox One game, but Mortal Kombat 1 just did not function well. Load times were terrible, it looked terrible, it was an obvious cash grab from Warner Brothers, of course. But just, they're making so many more improvements that I think this will be a much better experience for fighting games and larger games like that in general on that. They announced a brand new Hyrule Warriors game. It's supposed to be like a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom where Zelda goes back in time and stuff. I've never played those games. They seem kind of cool. So just something for some Zelda fans. And then they had a bunch of sizzle reels of new third-party games. Third-party, just to be clear, third-party means they're not made by Nintendo. They're made by somebody else. One that they just kind of casually thrown in there was Silk Song, which is the sequel to Hollow Knight. I didn't catch the release date. It may have just said 2025. So that was something that hasn't been heard from for like 5 years or something crazy like that. Undertale got a brand new game coming soon. That's fantastic. They announced a new chat feature that on the buttons they'll give you a C button that will allow you to chat with your friends. It's basically, from what the trailers were showing, it's basically just Zoom on your Switch. And they showed off like a camera feature that can be used in games and stuff, but of course you have to buy the camera separate. Of course you do. But it seems like something cool. It seems, more than anything, it seems more helpful for like parents who don't want to keep giving their kids their phone to call their friends, or more helpful for streamers and YouTubers to be able to play one game and have all their friends play at the same time and just record one screen. They also showed that they have basically a new form of download play from the DS days, where if you have one game on the Switch 2 that is either Switch, or if you have a Switch 2, you can share a game with up to 3 other consoles. And if it's a Switch 1 game, it can be shared with old Switches as well. So if you go to the park or college or whatever, and you've got other friends who don't have that game, like say Mario Kart 8, everyone can play it if one person has it. It's a very cool feature. I think there's some kind of time limit or something. I'm guessing it's like 2 hours maybe at a time, but we'll see. I think it's very good. From there, I guess it's really just time. Oh yeah, something else that was kind of interesting. Firstly, they introduced GameCube games to the Switch Online, which I think is a fantastic inclusion. A lot of those GameCube games, without emulation, a bunch of computer stuff that's really annoying to work on, is very hard to play nowadays because they're just so expensive. So, and this will be the first time that they're ever playable in this format. So it'd be really nice to have that. The 3 that they announced will be day 1 of the Switch, June 4th. Was F-Zero GX, which basically means there's no remake or no F-Zero anytime soon. But considering the next announcement, I can see why. Soul Calibur 2, which was actually pretty surprising to me, because Bandai Namco made that game, not Nintendo. But of course they use a version with Link playable, which is awesome. And then obviously it's the GameCube version, so they're going to use that, not the Xbox one with Spawn or something. But still, it's nice that it's there. And then Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. But they also showed more games are coming, like Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, all kinds of stuff like that. So that'll be released throughout the rest of the next couple of years. Another game that was announced that was kind of strange was Kirby Air Riders, this is a sequel to the GameCube game Kirby Air Ride, which I assume now is probably not coming to the Switch Online, at least not for a while. That was surprising simply because, firstly, it's a racing game that Nintendo already has F-Zero on the Switch Online coming soon. They have F-Zero 99 and a brand new Mario Kart. So it seems odd that they're coming out with 2 racing games basically in the same year or same span of a year. But it's still really cool. The more interesting thing, though, is that the director of the game, his name is Masahiro Sakurai, and most people know him from making Smash Brothers, and he had been saying for a long time that he was making a new game, like a secret project, and now we know that this was what he was talking about. So more than anything, it gives more intrigue to when we'll get a new Smash Bros. Because I think they can definitely make another one without him. It's his baby. He's been there from the beginning. I think they're capable of doing another one without him. I just don't know if they will let him, if Sakurai will let them do that. So we're really either in the stretch of where it's gonna come, we're gonna get an announcement. Probably, I'm sure there'll be another Direct in June on the launch date of new stuff coming in the next year or so. So maybe we'll see it then. But I don't know. We're either going to get it very soon, confirmation that it's coming soon and Sakurai is not a part of it, or at least he's just kind of supervising it, or we're not going to get it for another 2 years and then we learn, okay, Sakurai took a year or 2 off, which he should. He works very hard on this stuff. And now, because of that, he's going to work on a new Smash Bros. Game, but we're not going to get it for 2, 3, maybe 4 years, just because he was working on that Kirby Air Ride for so long. As for the game itself, I'm definitely interested. I've never played Kirby Air Ride, but it seems very interesting. A new take on a racing game, for sure. It's just odd that it's in the same year as a Mario Kart. I don't know why they did that. But the final announcement was extremely shocking because most people were saying it's going to be the new 3D Mario and it's going to come out this winter. And what's most shocking about that is that the announcement I'm about to tell you, if you didn't see it, is not only is insane on its own, but it also doesn't deconfirm a new 3D Mario. So what was announced was a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game called Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it looks really good. It looks very Odyssey-like, where he goes across different worlds and collects bananas as if they're moons and stuff like that. So I think that looks extremely good, and I think the Odyssey team was working on that, Mario Odyssey team. So I think I'm very excited for it. It comes out July 7th, so it's about a month after the release of the console. So I think that's a very good first 2 months for the Switch. You know, you got your Mario Kart, so you got your big 3D or your big family experience that the whole family's going to chip in, you know, their money, I hope so, to get one thing for the whole family, and then someone who likes Donkey Kong will buy that the next year for their single player, or next month for their single player experience, and they'll go from there. So I think the game looks fantastic. I'm really excited. But what's even crazier is that I don't think that the date of July 7th is not even their holiday title. Usually they have something really big for Christmas. Now that could be Metroid Prime 4, because they still didn't give a release date for that. Or at least if they did, I'm like 99% sure it wasn't around the November-December time period. So we could still get, if there's another Direct in June, I think it's extremely likely that we get a new look at a 3D Mario, and we get that at the end of the year. Now maybe I'm crazy, maybe it's not till next year. You know, two massive 3D games in the span of 1 year sounds crazy, but I don't know. It could happen. So there are a lot of other announcements in there, but I talked about all of the major Nintendo stuff. So if you want to go back and watch the full thing, if you haven't already, that's up to you. But there are definitely things in there that I didn't get to. So mostly third-party stuff. If you are interested in any of that, you can go check it out. But that's all I've got. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this, and I'll see you all next time. Remember, the 17th of April, the Mario Kart World Direct will be coming out, and I will be doing my reaction and breakdown of that. So stay tuned for that. See you later.